Well, hello there. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about press tools, Milwaukee press tools. There are several companies out there that make press tools, but we're going to talk about Milwaukee because Milwaukee. So, as far as plumbing contractors go and the plumbing industry goes, there are four press tools we need to talk about. This first one that I have up on the screen, and I apologize for the glare, is a little dark in here, so I had to turn the light on my camera. The M18 short throw press tool. This guy is meant for pecs. It's a pecs crimper. So instead of using your beating your hands up all day long, you got a power tool for it now. Pretty neat little guy there. It's relatively light. You know, with the compact batteries, you can get a ton of crimps out of them. We are keeping this particular one, the one that comes with the standard crimp jaws. There are other jaws available for it. I want to say there's ones for the Viega style crimp fittings. There's one, I think there's one other one that is like a proprietary type of crimp fitting, but all those jaws are available as options. But you know, we're keeping the one that corresponds to the type of pecs that we stock. One neat thing about this particular model, there is no calibration interval like the other press tools. It is set for life. Your calibration is actually built into the jaws themselves. You know, much like you know, your compact handheld crimpers, you know, over time they stretch, the jaws stretch. So, you know, you still got to check it with a go no go gauge like you would any other type of crimp. And instead of sending the tool off, you know, eventually after, I don't even want to think about how many crimps it would take to wear these out, but you know, 100,000 crimps probably, who knows. Once those jaws wear out, you just buy new jaws. You don't have to send the tool in for service. There's no service interval on it unless you break it, which is kind of neat. That's kind of one of the things that kind of sets it apart. The main thing to remember though is it's only for pecs. That's all it does. Next up, my favorite one, the one that if I were to buy one, this is the one I would keep in my little car. Yeah, I plumb out of a tiny hatchback on the side. Isn't that fun? Anyway, M12 Force Logic press tool. The kit comes with jaws for copper, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch. Okay, but there's a ton of optional jaws available for this thing. All right, so you can get an 1 1/4 copper jaw for this thing. That's the max it can do. It can only go up to 1 1/4, but really for most guys, especially guys that concentrate on residential, they're rarely going to see copper bigger than 1 inch. As far as other optional jaws, they also now have a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch iron pipe jaw, you know, meant for mega press, you know, for your gas fittings. And again, your residential guy, unless he's working on a big monster sized house, he's probably not going to run across anything bigger than 3/4 on gas. As of right now, 6/20/20, those gas jaws, you have to buy them separately. They don't come as a kit that I'm aware of. And recently, they've also come out with PEX crimp jaws, kind of like fairly similar to the ones that the M18 short throw uses. And again, to my knowledge, as of this date, they do not come as a kit. You have to buy each size separately, but I believe those go all the way up to 2-inch crimp PEX, which I've never actually seen in real life, but it is a thing. So you may be wondering, well, why would you buy the short throw when you could just buy this and get those aftermarket jaws? Well, this guy's a lot more expensive. You know, you're talking like twice as much, almost 3 times as much money for the base kit. Secondly, and most importantly, this tool has a calibration interval on it. And if I remember correctly, it's 30,000 crimps. So once you hit that 30,000, the tool throws an error code and says, hey, you need to send me back. I need to get work done. The short throw tool doesn't do that. So if you've got a guy that does need a press tool to do copper and gas with, but also does a lot of crimp PEX, you know, there's a use case there. You know, he might be better served by having both, but if he just encounters a little bit of everything, you know, maybe the M12 is all he needs. So, but it's pretty cool. That's as far as the weight versus performance and the price, it's probably the best product they have in the line, in my opinion. M18, the big boy. Force Logic Press Toolkit in this particular picture example. This one comes with jaws all the way up to 2-inch for copper. It can press up to 2-inch gas, and the M18 basic model can also press stainless steel up to, I believe, 2-inch, if I remember correctly. As far as copper, you can get kits. They're called press rings. It's like it looks kind of like a big ring that you wrap around the fitting, and it's got like a little pincher jaw that actually grabs the ring and closes it that way to go all the way up to, I believe, 4-inch copper currently. Pretty neat system. You can press some pretty big stuff with this. You know, your commercial contractors, the guys that mess with big pipe, the guys that run big gas, big copper. This is the bee's knees. Yeah, the fittings are kind of pricey, and yeah, you got a lot of money in the tool, but you know, you bid your jobs right, you step up and buy one of these things. A lot of guys have told me that they've paid for the tool in the first job. So if you're trying to push one of these things, you got a guy that's kind of resistant to the idea of trying it. So, you know, whole threading pipe's fine, it works great, I've been threading my whole life. Kind of lean in on that angle, because that's the biggest selling point. You know, you save so much time. You know, labor is your biggest expense. A tool like this that can save that much time, money in the bank. Fantastic tool. And this one also has PEX jaws available for it, just like the other ones. Those are fairly recent development. Again, I believe they go up to 2-inch crimp. They're not available as a kit as of right now that I know of. Honestly, though, on this particular tool, because of the weight of the thing, if it's the only tool they have and they're interested in crimping PEX, by all means. But me personally, I would not want to have to lug that thing around all day crimping PEX under a house. It would just get tiring. Much better off with one of the other tools in that regard. But your commercial guys, good tool. So this is the long throw press tool. Now, it uses the same jaws as the standard throw M18. The primary difference, though, when you buy this one as a kit, it comes with stainless steel jaws instead of copper jaws. And the reason for that is this tool it can still press the same things, but it's geared more towards pressing stainless steel. Because if you think about the type of, you know, stainless steel versus carbon steel or versus copper, stainless steel is very, very hard. Okay, hard as a coffin's nail, super, super hard. So it takes a lot more power to do the press on that type of metal. You know, carbon steel is relatively soft in comparison. You know, it's not as hard to crimp. And copper, you know, copper's malleable. You know, it's super soft. You know, it takes nothing to crimp that. The standard M18 is plenty fast for that. This is just faster for stainless steel. That's the only major difference. Otherwise, performance is the same. It's the same as the M18. It's just it's able to crimp stainless steel a little bit faster. And you know, and on a big job, if you're doing stainless steel, you know, time's money. Again, labor. You're saving time. You're not having to bill out as many hours. You keep more money in your pocket. You're probably not going to ever sell one of these. I mean, maybe you will. Maybe you'll run across somebody that does stainless steel and has need of something like this, but it's not going to be particularly common. You know, you're going to see that in like food industry primarily, or brewing. Those are your two major use cases for this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it's only the 4 tools as of right now. Who knows what they got coming in the future? But again, you know, it's really going to be down between the standard M18 and the M12 as far as pressing copper, and the M18 short throw for PEX. I still think the M12 is probably your best all-rounder, but it all again, you just gotta know your customer. You gotta know what they want, what they need, and that's about all I have to say about that.